What's up, guys? My name is Matt, and I want to get back into the guides and news and glitches for Destiny with the Taken King on its way in less than a month. Well, just over a month. I should say just over a month. Not less than a month, just over a month. Let's say a month. Month and 7 days. Regardless, guys, last week was Gamescom, and with Gamescom, of course, Bungie was there. And with that, they of course released a lot of information, a lot of things were confirmed, a lot of things were seen, and I wanted to catch you guys up on all of the Destiny news that has gone down. The first thing, if you watched my video where I did a brief synopsis from the Game Informer article, and it wasn't really brief, it was a pretty long video, but we now know that the raid is for sure called King's Fall. And with that, King's Fall has been confirmed by Bungie. At least Bungie says it is their biggest raid to date. It will take place on the Dreadnought, but the Dreadnought also has a lot of interesting things to it. One thing called the Court of Oryx, which is Bungie's response to the, I guess, dislike, I guess you could say dislike of the Prison of Elders. Essentially, it's like the Prison of Elders, but it's just player spawned and it's during patrol, and there's ways to trigger it to make it happen. So it's not like you choose Court of Oryx, it just kind of is a thing within the patrol. The next thing I want to talk about is all the exotics that we've seen on screen right now is what is called the Sleeper Simulant. The Sleeper Simulant is a new type of an exotic. It is a fusion rifle, but it goes into the heavy slot and has been compared to a railgun. And as you can see, it's kind of like the Spartan laser. You charge it up, it hits really hard, and then you charge it up again and it hits really hard again and consumes heavy ammo. Another thing, briefly in the Game Informer interview slash vidoc slash whatever, all these links to these things will be in the description, but in there was a brief point where we saw what appeared to be a Thunderlord, except for this Thunderlord wasn't a Thunderlord, it was, I guess you can call it a Solar Lord. And on screen right now is that brief clip of that. That brief clip shows a Thunderlord, but it's red and has fire coming out of it. But the reticule looks the same, the rest of the model looks the same, so we possibly could be seeing a new exotic that is a fire-based or a solar-based Thunderlord. And there's actually been some comments around like other people's channels that I've seen, people calling it the Dragon's Fang, or at least that's what it's rumored to be called, but we don't know if that's what it's actually called, and we don't even know if it's an exotic. But the way it looks, as you can see on screen, I've repeated it a lot of times because I'm talking about it quite a bit, is in fact very exotic looking, so I'm going to only can guess that it's an exotic. On top of that, Deej had an interview during Gamescom, and I think it was like 3 a.m. the day after I streamed, if that makes sense. Like, I stopped streaming at 10 o'clock, and like 5 hours later at 3 a.m., Deej did an interview for Gamescom. And there was a video that, I think, who was it? It was Morning After Kill. Morning After Kill posted a video talking about the fact that he recognized the fact that there was the Amalon and the Tex Mechanica and all those other Foundries that we know about in the game that are coming to the game. The Haka, the Suros, all those boxes can be found in the tower. And why am I bringing this up? Because Deej confirmed something. Deej said in that interview that we've placed these sort of things in the tower. For example, the Weapon Foundry boxes. Those boxes have been there since day one. We've left breadcrumbs for players to find since the beginning. Or something, I'm paraphrasing it, but it's roughly saying, we've left these things. They've been there. We've hinted at these things since day one. Players are just now putting the pieces together. Also, my good buddy Clicks did a video on it as well, of course, mentioning Morning After Kill. And there's even talk of I guess some sort of coolant that is in a box that says charged with R1 something something something. Regardless, it talks about, and there's rumors that we might see an ice type weapon. I don't know, that's very speculatory, but I figured I'd mention it. On top of that, you've probably all seen this clip. This clip of the Storm Chaser, or the Storm Chaser. Holy crap, Stormcaller. The Stormcaller Warlock shooting some harpies in what appears to be the Blindwatch map for PvP, but it's not. It has a similar model, but he's shooting harpies. But one thing that went unnoticed until, I think, Willis Gaming, and I'm dropping a lot of names, but that's where all this information, where I'm pulling it from, and I want to make sure that I give credit where I feel credit is due. These are the guys that mentioned it and noticed it first, so of course I'm going to mention their names. But in there, you'll see in this clip right here, it's just a Stormcaller attacking some harpies. But to the keen eye, you can look down at his weapons. And as you see in his heavy slot, that's right, it appears to be what looks like a sword. Now, it's not guaranteed that's what it is. That could be just a variant of the railgun or the new type. But also, it does look very much so like a sword. So there's a potential that we could be seeing melee weapons in Destiny. And for me personally, seeing a melee heavy, or the potential for a melee heavy, being the guy that does Peaceful Guardian, you know how badly I want a melee heavy as a Peaceful Guardian? It's technically a weapon, but it's a frickin' sword. At least it appears to be a sword, and I really hope it's a sword. So we just gotta have to wait and see if that's actually the case. And there's actually rumors about said sword being, in fact, the artifact. Because one of the things Deej said in somewhere, I don't know, it might have been a weekly update, or it was somewhere it was said that artifacts are not relics. They are things that that'll change the way players play. I stumbled on my words a little bit because I had to cough, so I cut that part out. But change the way players play. My thought is that's a true example. Those could be the artifacts. We talk about the relics and all these things. Could we be seeing like Crota swords and relics like that we saw in the Vault of Glass as weapons that would go in our heavy slot in the Taken King? Again, up for speculation. You guys make that decision. But I thought I'd mention that as well. There's a lot to get out of here, and I'm going to continue covering all the news, but I'm trying to pack it all into one video on the things that I felt were important that you guys needed to know. So I'm doing it in such a way that makes it quick and easy for you guys to get all the information that I felt was important. I've repeated that a couple times, so I'm rambling. I think I'm out of information. I'm actually pulling this off the top of my head. I don't have this scripted at all, so I'm going to say my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys next time.